d4. Knight f6. c4. e6. Knight c3. Bishop b4. e3. Castle kingside. Bishop d2. c5. a3. Bishop takes c3. Bishop takes c3. Knight e4. Good move. It's necessary to capture white's bishop while there's still time, otherwise the pair of bishops guarantees a lasting positional advantage. Knight e2. Getting ready to capture on c3 with the knight, where it will be well placed. b6. There is no rush to capture the bishop since it has nowhere to go. d5. Bishop a6. Good move. Developing the bishop while attacking the c4 pawn. b3. b5. Good move. Guaranteeing the activity of the a6 bishop. Queen c2. E take d5. C take d5. Knight takes c3. Queen takes c3. d6. Knight g3. Knight d7. Bishop e2. Knight f6. Queen d2. The opening phase is almost over. Black has achieved equality, but the pawn structure is unbalanced and typical of the Benoni defense. White has a central majority that could cause problems if it starts to advance, so black must seek counterplay quickly. The position is balanced, but it's not so easy for black to play. Rook e8. A new move but a very natural one, developing the rook. f3. A weak move. Nakamura immediately prepares to reinforce the center with e4. Queen b6. Developing the queen to an active square, although this piece had an important defensive task on f8, protecting the king against a possible knight invasion on f5. e4. Bishop c8. The bishop comes back to prevent an f5. a4. Good move. A strong reply, opening the queen side. Bishop d7. Bad move. This move is bad because it allows white to divert the bishop from the protection of the f5 square. A take b5. Black has to capture the pawn, otherwise the rook goes to a6. Bishop take b5. Bishop take b5. Queen take b5. Knight f5. Good move. The knight has a free ride to the promised square. Knight take e4. A weak move. A knight sack to complicate matters, but as usual Nakamura's calculation is very accurate and he manages to solve the problems. F take e4. Rook take e4. Check. King f2. Rook e5. This is the idea. The knight is attacked and the b3 pawn may be captured later. The attack, however, doesn't look very threatening and it's no surprise that white has more than one way to win. Knight take d6. Queen b6. The best practical chance. Knight c4. Queen f6. Check. King g1. Rook e2. Rook f1. Good move. I don't know how far in advance Nakamura saw this move, but it's the only winning continuation. Rook take d2. Rook take f6. Rook take d5. Rook f3. Now the technical phase begins. Black has 2 pawns for the piece, but they are not threatening, and at the moment the most likely scenario is that the A and C pawns are exchanged for the B pawn, which would lead to an endgame that should be technically winning for white, but with some practical difficulties. Rook d1. Check. Rook f1. Rook d3. Knight a5. Rook d2. h4. Good move. An excellent move to free the path for the h1 rook. Rook a2. Knight c4. a5. Rook h3. The position is getting more difficult for black since the white rooks, together with the knight, can start an attack on black's king. a4. Knight b6. Rook b8. Knight take a4. Rook c2. Now black is desperately trying to play c4, exchanging the last pawn on the queen side. Rook f4. h5. Rook d3. f6. Rook e4. Rook b7. King h2. King f7. King h3. King g6. King g3. King h6. King f3. King g6. King g3. King h6. King h2. King g6. Rook g3. Check. King f7. Rook f4. Rook b8. Rook g to f3. King g6. King h3. King f7. g3. Nakamura is taking his time before going for some decisive action. King g6. Rook e4. King h6. Rook f2 e3. Rook b5. Rook d3. Rook b8. Rook c4. Rook takes c4. B takes c4. Rook b4. Knight takes c5. Rook takes c4. Knight e6. Good move. Black's pawn structure, with the pawn on f6, makes victory relatively simple for white. It would be much more difficult to win if he had the structure with the pawns on f7, g6, h5, the king on g7, and the rook on the 7th rank. g5. Rook d5. G take h4. G take h4. Kg6. Knight d4. Rook c3. Check. King g2. Rook d3. Knight f5. Rook a3. Knight g3. Rook a2. Check. King f3. Rook a3. Check. King f4. Rook a4. Check. Knight e4. Rook a1. Rook d6. Rook f1. Check. King a3. Rook f5. The win is taking some time, but it's never in doubt. Nakamura is showing good technique and is not in a hurry. Rook c6. Rook f1. Rook a6. Rook f5. Rook a1. Rook e5. King d4. Rook e6. Rook f1. Rook a6. Knight c3. Rook a3. Rook f4. Rook a6. Knight d5. Rook e6. Rook e4. Rook d6. Rook f4. Rook e6. King d3. King f7. Rook a4. White is finally making progress. The rook is heading to the 7th rank. Rook d6. King a4. Rook e6. Check. King f3. Rook e5. Rook a7. Check. King g6. Knight f4. Check. King f5. Rook h7. The game is over. Pragg resigns.
Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.